This is the Beretta A300 Ultima Patrol, and this is the Mossberg 940 Pro Tactical, and I am actual trash. Today I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison because these are two very similar shotguns. First thing, and seemingly the biggest question that people ask, is the cost.
Man, what's the pay?
The Mossberg 940 Pro Tactical came in at just under $1,000 at $999.99. As far as the Beretta A300, I picked this one up for $1149. They have gone up just a little bit. I had seen them previously for $1049. Unfortunately, I was unable to purchase one at that time. So starting off, we're going to talk about quality. What do you get for your $1,000 range?
Quality technology.
As far as the Beretta A300 Ultima Patrol, the grip on it is textured in a much more aggressive way. I personally like that. It helps me get a better grip on the shotgun. Compared to the Mossberg, it has a considerably less aggressive texturing. Underneath, there's pretty much nothing except for the Mossberg logo. They both feel relatively the same. One thing you might be able to knock the Beretta A300 for is this cover right here is plastic. I've had it off. Underneath there's a metal tube. And on the Mossberg, that is metal. So do with that information what you will. Maybe it's nicer, maybe it's not, I don't know. But as far as quality, they both seem to be relatively same ballpark. I've heard another reviewer say that the A300 is considerably better. It is in some ways, I think more in a feature-wise, but as far as qualities, they're both relatively worth about what they're asking. And that leads us into features.
Let me show you its features.
So starting with the 940, the main feature that it comes with out of the box is it's cut for this optic. It's the RMRC footprint. It does not have any type of pick rail that it comes with. It also did not come with sling mounts. I had no option of mounting a QD, so these parts that I've added are from HB Industries. So when we talk about cost, the Beretta out of the box had mounting for QD on it. This one I had to put about $100 of parts to mount a sling on it. And speaking of the Beretta, out of the box, it came with QD sling mounts. So that was a cost that I did not have to add to it to put a sling on it. I could add a sling straight out of the box. It came with M-lock mounts on the fore end, so I could very easily mount a flashlight. Whereas on the Mossberg, there was not an easy way to mount a flashlight, but it was kind of a two birds with one stone because this was the part that had the QD mount on it. The stock clamp was plastic anyway, and some people love that or hate that. The stock clamp on the Beretta is plastic. They added these grooves here on the lower tube. So far, I haven't seen it move. Continuing on features, the A300 did come with a 1913s or a pick rail up here. I personally wanted to mount a more low profile optic. I went with the new Holosun SCR-SC. I did get one of the GG&G mounts that Langdon Tactical puts on there, Beretta 1301s. It's the same footprint for the A300, so I went ahead and picked up one of those. It does come with a pick rail out of the box, so you could mount a wide variety of optics on it. I personally wanted to go with something a little more low profile, so that's my note on that. So by the way, just side note, I get a lot of questions about what these clips are. These are match savers, and it's so you put a shell here, slide it into action and close it. This one's just held on with tape. It's actually held on really tight. It's not even loose, and we're just shooting it in the desert at 111 degrees in the hot heat of Arizona Bajan, and it's still on there really good. That being said, a screw on there would make me feel like it's a lot more secure. And on the Beretta, there's actually clearance, like they want you to put one of these here. And so on this one, I actually have a screw going through it with like a M-lock nut behind it. And that guy's on there nice and tight. Gives me the confidence that this isn't gonna come loose or come off. But I highly recommend anybody with a semi-automatic shotgun pick one of these up. This one's off of Amazon. It was like $11, and they are extremely addicting to use. Another feature that the Beretta has that the Mossberg does not have is that it has this, I'm not sure what it's called. You think I would have figured it out? I might put it right here. Right here. Basically, the feed tube doesn't feed until this button is pushed or the trigger is pulled. And so kind of what is unique about that, what you can't do very easily on the Mossberg, is that if you have one in the pipe, there's not one in the lifter at the moment. Until you pull the trigger, it shoots one in, shoots it into the pipe. What you could do is, if you have double aught buck in the tube and you wanted to switch to a slug on the fly, is you can actually pull that one out of the chamber, and while you're holding it open, because there's not one on the lifter, you can actually switch over to something that you might have on your match saber or on a side saddle, which I run the Velcro ones. You could put a slug in there and close that guy up, and it hasn't fed from your tube yet because this button or the trigger hasn't been depressed. And then you've effectively switched over from your whatever you have in your tube to whatever you want to put in there. It just gives you a little bit more control. The Mossberg doesn't have that feature. Another feature that the Beretta has over the Mossberg is that I've been able to successfully ghost load this one. I have not been able to successfully ghost load this one. As far as that, we're just getting down to personal preference things. They both have nice and large charging handles. The safeties are different on these. This one has a tang safety, which some people love or hate. I personally don't mind. I pointed it out in my first impressions that I actually kind of liked it. One on the Beretta is a button safety, which if you are holding your hand over the trigger like you should until you're ready to engage, it's actually right there. It's very intuitive. You push that and have your hand on the trigger. I don't mind either or. If that's a deal breaker for you, this one's got a tang.
Never turn down tang. Growing boys need tang. What is funny here?
This one's got a button.
Okay. And you just push the button.
Now, as far as reliability, both have had similar reliability in the sense that they're both pretty solid. I probably have about 200 or 300 rounds through each. It's pretty low round count, I understand that. It's also been over 100 degrees for the past like 2 months over here in Arizona by John, so I'm not super eager to go out.
What kind of place is this?
That being said, this weekend we had some very interesting malfunctions, and we've accredited it to the ammo and not the firearms. If you look here in the slow-mo, you can see like the rounds getting jammed up in the Mossberg. That is a very atypical thing in my experience when we were using more quality rounds. This stuff right here, the Fiocchi Defense Dynamics, I don't know what they got going on, but the shells, they're just not high quality. Like I've noticed out of the box, a couple of them on the tips are kind of like squished. But moreover, when we were using these, and this stuff was pretty affordable. It was like $30 for 25 rounds. So naturally, I bought a bunch of it. So I wasn't just shooting birdshot at the trash. I wanted to actually shoot some high brass. And so this was the only stuff I could find locally where I could buy a box of 25. But it was so hot yesterday that the plastic on the shells were actually getting squishy and soft. And of course they were jamming up in both of these firearms, because if this doesn't hold true to shape, it gets smushed and it jams on any surface that it can grab. So honestly, I had no problem with this in the cooler weather, but I do not trust my life to this here in Arizona, just because it is hot at some points of the year. And this stuff got soft and squishy. I don't understand it. I've never seen it happen before. It didn't happen with any other rounds I was using, just these Fiocchis. So kind of wrapping up here, I think both are a great option. I bought both because of availability. On the Beretta, was seemingly scarce, so I bought the 940 because it was my second option. Overall, I do think the 940 is a great shotgun. I just think that the Beretta outshines it in a couple areas, especially in features. As far as fit and finish, I mean, the Italian one just looks a lot cooler, a lot more sleek. The American one, it just seems a little more rugged and utilitarian. Optic mounting on that one, I think it's a cool idea, but it does limit you to the small footprint optics. There are screws on the top, like you probably could mount the 1913s, but I didn't see one in the box, whereas this one comes with one, so you could mount a bigger optic. This one does cost a little bit more than this one. This one was a little more available in my area than the Beretta was. But overall, I think they're both great shotguns, and I think you couldn't go wrong if you had to have one or the other. But if you could only buy one, my honest opinion, and this is my personal preference, is I would buy the Beretta A300. It does cost a little bit more, but you do get a lot more features. Overall, they're both great. You can't go wrong with either one. Well, if you liked what you saw here, consider giving me a like. Feel free to comment in the comment sections which one you would like, any experiences you have with either or. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe. And I'd be remiss if I didn't welcome the many new subscribers we have. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the trash.
This is tactical trash.